Ich habe mich dazu entschieden, hallo Loren, oh, das Bild ist nicht da. Jetzt, äh, dass ich die zweite Pizza esse. Und hab dabei weiter Videos geguckt. So, wo ist das Spiel? Da. So, wir wollten mit dem Kodex anfangen. Ja.
In the early living beyond the Omega-4 mass relay and the terminus systems, the mysterious collectors species is glimpsed so rarely as to be taken for a myth by most in galactic society. In reality, collectors are human-sized insectoid bipeds and can resemble massive winged beetles. They are a terrifying force in the galaxy, responsible for the murder of hundreds of thousands. Collectors generate permanent stasis fields around themselves, creating nightmarish red-shifted energy fields. In battle, they hold position whenever possible, relying on their aggressive biotics and nearly limitless power. Several types of bipedal collectors have been identified, including minions, defenders, zealots, assassins, and artillery operators. Acting together, collectors have imprisoned entire cities in stasis. While no definite forensic accounting exists to explain the fate of those imprisoned, leading speculation is that victims are harvested for scientific experimentation and neurobiological repurposing. The Krogan, hovering tanks resembling a cross between an octopus and a giant crab. Praetorians are well-armored killing machines of mysterious origin. Praetorians employ redundant systems from the multiple humans encased within them. Armed with eye-mounted particle beams and capable of attacks at close range, they teleport to evade attack while regenerating their shields. Within hours after death, the organic components of Praetorian corpses disintegrate into a denatured pus, while their mechanisms turn to ash. One specimen, autopsied within minutes of death, reveals a clue. Nanomachines may disintegrate the Praetorians' organic and mechanical components before self-destructing. If correct, this self-rendering hypothesis could account for 3 documented cases of dead Praetorians apparently releasing or becoming clouds of neurotoxic gases, causing suffocating paralysis and nearly instant death. In one remote facility, 17 soldiers died from gas inhalation while assessing the Praetorian. Any personnel in the vicinity of dead Praetorians are urged to protect themselves with breathing apparatus. Although they resemble a mammal-reptile cross, the Vorcha have no terrestrial analog. They are humanoid in form, but Vorcha have clusters of non-differentiated neoblast cells, like those of Earth's planarian worms. Damaged Vorcha cells mature into specialized structures to alleviate injury or stress. Transformations include thicker skin following injury, lung adaptation for barely breathable atmospheres, and stronger cardioskeletal muscle under high gravity. Skull capacity and brain size do not change, and Vorcha rarely make more than one somatic overhaul. Vorcha assault each other frequently, causing their young to gain strength, intelligence, and resilience. As a result, Vorcha see inflicting and receiving pain as normal communication. Few Vorcha study professions, in part because their average life expectancy is only 20 years. Because Vorcha can eat and breathe nearly anything, they can live almost anywhere. But racism prevents them from integrating into most societies that dismiss them as vermin. They have few employment options beyond Krogan mercenary bands. A political economic pact for collective colonial security, the Alliance is the central galactic institution of human society. The Alliance gained associate membership to the Citadel Council in 2165 and full membership in 2183, with Ambassador Donald Udina representing humanity. Human political-economic relationships vary between combative and lucrative. The Turians, who'd fought humans during the 2157 First Contact War, have become valuable trade partners, despite residual social hostility. Other relationships are even more complicated. The rapid rise of human political influence on the Council, achieving in decades what others waited or are still waiting centuries to acquire, has galvanized suspicion and resentment against humanity. That negativity is vastly outweighed by the respect and trust humanity earned by saving the Council during the 2183 attack on the Citadel, at the cost of Alliance cruisers Cairo, Cape Town, Emden, Jakarta, Madrid, Seoul, Shenyang, and Warsaw, and their 2,400 crew.
Das ist das, was wir entschieden haben?
Immediately founded by notorious Batarian slaver Solem Dalsera, the Blue Suns began as a Skillian Verge protection racket, providing genuine protection from slavers and pirates. Eventually captured by the Systems Alliance Navy, Dalsera beat almost 24 charges to be convicted on a single count of conspiracy. The slaver benefited from the tutelage of cellmate and brilliant con artist Bernard Legit's Ledger. Upon release 5 years later, Dalsera incorporated Blue Suns as a legal security agency. Today, the Blue Suns boast a galaxy-wide force of Batarians, Turians, humans, and Krogan. Each deployment is backed by a logistics corps, selling everything from heavy weapons to shaving cream. Despite claims that Blue Suns sells its captives as slaves, no Blue Suns employee has ever been convicted on such charges. Many Blue Suns members sport the company logo in tattoo form, removed during assignments and reapplied at mission end. Brainchild of Asari Commando Jonas Sideris, Eclipse was incorporated as a proactive security company. Influenced by Asari and Solarian military doctrine, Eclipse specializes in sabotage, assassination, and personal and organizational security. Although Citadel governments regard the corporation with suspicion, it's embraced in the Skillian Verge and Terminus systems. Early on, Sideris sought government contracts to establish market share against the better established Blue Suns. Her agency scored a galactic PR coup by retaking several space stations captured by the Anhur People's Liberation Army and neutralizing its leaders, a victory Eclipse's marketing department never ceases trumpeting. Based on Omega Station, Eclipse controls nearly 20% of the asteroid's real estate. Its services range from mech repair to open warfare, although assassination is reserved for meeting wider, longer-term company goals. For instance, preemptive strikes against pirates, rather than murdering spouses for insurance money. Despite numerous reports, Eclipse denies sabotaging or kidnapping business rivals. Originally a small Terminus Systems Vorcha gang, the Blood Pack was transformed into a legion by visionary Krogan battlemaster Gunnar Rang. Exiled for striking a female in anger, Rang obsessed over reclaiming his lost status. Leading the Vorcha Pack as a pirate crew, Rang cultivated recruits and infamy for a decade before incorporating his fighters as a security company across the Skillian Verge. His notoriety ensured his initial public offering for investors made him rich beyond most Krogan's dreams. Rang returned triumphantly to his clan, rallying elders, Krogan hordes, and their firepower and biotic support toward professional violence in the Terminus systems. Banned from Citadel space, the Blood Pack bribes its way through spaceports into armed conflicts across the galaxy. Priding themselves for accepting otherwise untouchable contracts, the Blood Pack rejects bodyguarding and security in favor of cases requiring minimal oversight and maximal violence.
Macht Sinn bei Krogans.
Freedom's Progress Colony was once a typical Terminus colony possessing minimal tourist value. Horizon promises substantial economic opportunity, especially in providing new products for humans and supplying the Turian hierarchy. Surveyed 18 years ago, Horizon received pilot habitation 4 years later. The colony proper is now 8 years old. Blessed with verdant forests and abundant fresh water, Horizon maintains a colonial culture that thrives as a refuge from the increasing restrictions of Citadel-governed society. Horizon has attracted numerous dissidents, marginal people, and fringe dwellers from across Alliance space. Known as the Starcraft Cemetery, Corliss was the regional toxic junkyard for centuries. Ships reaching astronautical near-death at connecting mass relays were sent to Corliss, stripped of every useful component, then dumped planetward to clear shipping lanes. Currently, Corliss hosts numerous merc factions, such as the Blue Suns, rumored to be using downed ship fossils to test advanced munitions. Massive gun batteries threaten anyone attempting planetfall, with minimal defenses against ground attack. Because ancient volcanism greenhoused the planet, Corliss was too hot and CO2 rich to develop a biosphere, despite the abundant lakes that could have sponsored the development of life. Now cool enough for protected habitation, but too scorching for anyone but extremophiles and mercenaries seeking secrecy, Corliss supports numerous Krogan outposts. The Krogan have therefore seeded Corliss with hardy Varen, often kept as warhounds. Varen live primarily on a diet of geophagous vermin and each other. Originally an asteroid rich in element zero, Omega was briefly mined by the Protheans, who eventually abandoned it due to its thick, impenetrable crust. Thousands of years later, nature did what even the Protheans could not. A collision with another asteroid broke Omega in half, exposing its trove of element zero for easy mining. A rush ensued as corporations and private individuals tried to strike it rich on Omega, and thieves and outlaws followed in their wake. As space became tight, construction of processing facilities extended vertically from the asteroid, creating Omega's jellyfish-like silhouette. To prevent future collisions, the station is ringed with enormous mass-effect field generators that redirect incoming debris. Today, Omega is a major hub of narcotics, weapons, and EZO trafficking, without even a pretense of civilian government or military control. Only mercenary groups have been able to instill a limited order. The most ruthless is an Asari syndicate run by the notorious Arya T'Loak. Asari made the... Following the Battle of the Citadel, human and Turian volunteers conducted a massive 3-month recovery effort to clear the station's orbit of debris. Secretly, the Turian Office of Technological Reconnaissance volunteers were technology recovery specialists, salvaging the main weapon of the Geth flagship Sovereign and large amounts of its valuable Element Zero core. Contrary to popular belief, Sovereign's main gun was not a directed energy weapon. Rather, its massive Element Zero core powered an electromagnetic field suspending a liquid iron-uranium-tungsten alloy that shaped into armor-piercing projectiles when fired. The jet of molten metal, accelerated to a fraction of the speed of light, destroys targets by impact force and irresistible heat. Only 11 months after the battle, the Turians produced the Thanix, their own miniaturized version of Sovereign's gun. The Thanix can fire reliably every 15 seconds, rivaling a cruiser's firepower, but mountable on a fighter or frigate. The Systems Alliance UT-47 drop shuttle landing craft holds 12 soldiers in a cramped, uncomfortable cargo bay and 2 more in the cockpit. Officially named the Kodiak, the drop shuttle is better known to Alliance Marines as the Combat Cockroach, due to its appearance and durability. The vehicle's robust environmental sealant technology exposes few vulnerable parts to the elements. First tested in the sulfuric acid clouds and extreme temperatures of Venus, the Kodiak can land in hard vacuum, high pressure, and temperatures from near absolute zero to over 900 degrees Celsius. A true contragravitic vehicle, the Kodiak's substantial Element Zero core allows flight by entirely countering the vehicle's mass. Its small thrusters are for directional control only. So if the mass effect field fails, the vehicle becomes a proverbial 3 million credit coffin. The unarmed shuttle forgoes weaponry space for active masking, electronic countermeasures, and a robust kinetic barrier system, ideal for dropping troops undetected. The Collector's particle, based on existing technology, the ML-77 is a rapid-fire missile launcher using seeking projectiles. Each projectile features a friend or foe recognition system, ensuring it will find a hostile target even if the user's aim is not completely accurate. The weapon excels at taking out snipers and other entrenched enemies in dense urban environments. This makes it popular with mercenary groups, particularly the Blue Suns mercenary band. Missile launchers have been appearing with increasing frequency in the Terminus system, but their point of manufacture is unknown. Legal duplication of missile launchers is difficult due to Fabrication Rights Management, FRM, technology.
Mhm. Ja, dann kommen wir jetzt mal zum Lesen. Collectors. Collector General. Several xenobiologists believe until recently that the collectors were coordinated by a biotically active caste, similar to other insectoid alien species. New evidence suggests that the collectors have a single commander, a so-called Collector General, that has never been seen on the battlefield. Instead, it selects its minions as remote platforms for its consciousness in a process that has been linked to a biological hack or cybernetic version of demonic possession. The Collector General can send a secure signal to any of its minions, smoothly take control of their motor functions and awaken their previously dominant biotic potential. In a matter of seconds, even the lowliest Collector drone can be upgraded to a battle-hardened biotic commander. If the Collector dies, the General can simply activate and control another body. Post-mortem analysis revealed that this command signal relies on cybernetic implants directly installed in the Collector's cerebellums. But how the technology functions is presently unknown. Coordinating sensory input and motor functions simultaneously with remote amplifying biotic abilities is beyond the grasp of current human science. Why such an advanced species would be interested in humans is puzzling. More disturbing still, victims of the Collector say the General has spoken to them and referred to itself by a human name, Harbinger. Krogan, Blood Rage. Feared throughout the galaxy as nightmarishly violent warriors, the Krogan are both aided and hobbled by their legendary blood rage. In the grip of madness, Krogan become seemingly invincible but are merely totally unresponsive to pain. Blood-enraged Krogan fight regardless of injury level, to the extent that Krogan shorn of all 4 limbs continue gnashing past brain death until total somatic death. The supremely resilient, hyper-violent blood rage is the synergy of 2 aspects of Krogan neurology. The first aspect is a positive feedback loop in which adrenaline, also activated by fear or rage, suppresses serotonin, the brain chemical that induces serenity. The second is the overdeveloped Krogan limbic system. In Krogan, as in human, fear or rage shifts mental control from the frontal lobes, responsible for reasoning, to the limbic system, responsible for aggression and survival. During that shift, Krogan and human exhibit diminishing capacity for logic and self-control. Prior to the ecological devastation of Tuchanka, blood rage was extremely rare among Krogan. Back then, while all Krogan were capable of heightened anger and violence in fight or flight scenarios, almost none experienced insensitivity to pain. The 1% who did were those suffering serotonin suppression. At that time, Krogan society regarded the condition as pathological and medicated or imprisoned sufferers to protect them in society. Following nuclear ecocide 4 millennia ago, evolution selected only those Krogan afflicted with blood rage for survival. Today there is no living memory among the Krogan of a life without mindless, murderous fury. Husk Science. Though the exact fate of species captured by the Collectors is unclear, the humanoid appearance of the science gives ghastly clues. The science frame and skulls are similar to those of a human or Sari, but the bone structure is overlaid with a metallic resin. Posthumous examination of the bodies reveals a skin tone resembling that of Reaper husks, but their transformation process seems more extensive. Like husks, they are cybernetically modified on a nanoscale so they can operate even in hard vacuum. Hoses rather than veins and muscle tissue join major portions of the body together. One arm is replaced with a construct that fits a large rifle, turning the creature into a humanoid weapon platform, and a fleshy sack is supported by the creature's back and head. These sacks contain brain matter and spinal tissue, too much to have come from just one victim. This indicates science are an amalgam of several individuals, with one primary victim providing the frame and several secondaries providing the flesh for a decentralized semi-mechanical nervous system. This decentralization makes them highly resistant to gunshot wounds. Even a headshot is not a certain kill. The science weapons, however, indicate that the science retains some living tissue, or at least sustained some of the same electrochemical reactions as those of a human biotic. The weapon creates a powerful warp effect, which is consistent with the ESO nodules visible in the science's expansive nervous system. Given the rarity of human biotics, it seems likely that these dust form ESO nodules are deposited during their transformation, rather than requiring a biotic victim in the first place. Cerberus Project Overlord. Two beautiful moons, one spectacular ring, zero neighbors, says one popular advertisement for this terminus system world. Aite is known for its sparsely settled population despite being a garden planet with a colony nearly a century old, blessed with a mild climate, wildlife no more dangerous than that on Earth, and soil and bacteria amenable to imported plants. Aite would appear to be an unexploited paradise. However, it is unpopular for two reasons. The first and most obvious is that its moon, Litae, is in an unstable orbit that will lead to a planetary impact and an extinction level event within the next few centuries. As such, all investment in the planet is short term, and the biggest business is selling off the local biota to the highest bidder. The second drawback is the level of violence on the planet. Like the rest of Phoenix massing cluster, Aite was briefly considered part of the Citadel space during its first wave of colonization. However, when the colony broke off to become an independent planet in 2133, the Council let the doomed planet go with less than a day of debate. Free from any real governing body, Aite history has since been filled with wars between small frontier town city-states over its resources. The result is a dangerous world where the average citizen is expected to be self-reliant to the point of fending for themselves against cutthroat corporations, strong-arm militia groups, and even Geth incursions. The fighting is so frequent that the name of the planet itself has changed more than 11 times. In a sign of blunt indifference, standard Citadel galaxy maps refer to the world by the name given to it by human colonists in the latter half of the century. Planet's locations. Purgatory. Originally an arc ship designed to carry also das hatten wir schon. Aber nicht ganz. Originally an arc ship designed to carry agricultural animals, the Purgatory was taken by the Blue Suns mercenary company during a large-scale battle in the Scythian Verge. In a years-long reconstruction of its interior, the Blue Suns repurposed its to hold sapient prisoners, supposedly because they captured so many in their conflicts throughout the galaxy. When media outlets started investigating claims that the ship was used for slaving operations, the Blue Suns turned a public relations nightmare into a regular income source. Claiming to be in full accordance with Citadel law, the crew of the Purgatory now regularly lands on planets or space stations, claiming that they can no longer hold their prisoners because of cost overruns. To avoid keeping prisoners under inhuman conditions, they will have to release them at the nearest port, dumping the scum of the galaxy directly into the local population. Faced with such a scenario, the government usually grants Purgatory crew massive discounts in fuel, food, and repairs as long as they go away. Some even offload their own prisoners to Purgatory for a fee, grateful to have a problem relocated somewhere other than their backyard. Such unfortunates go in the dark depths of the ship, never to be seen again by their families or contacts. Purgatory is minimally armed with guardian defenses, though a cruiserweight ship it relies on the Blue Sun's fighters to prevent any attack bent on a jailbreak or similar events. Fornax, launched in 2167, Fornax magazine describes itself as a galaxy-finest xenophilia. By its 5th year, Fornax became the first human magazine to offer full 5-sensory stimulation, a previously unaffordable magazine technology made profitable by the economy of scale, which a monthly publishing run of 127 million available in both in hard copy and direct download. Fornax offers a range of alien models with particular emphasis on the unisexual Asari, although both genders of Quarians, Drell, Batarians and Volus are regularly depicted. Specialty editions such as Genet Elcor and Krogasm service devoted but smaller markets. Oh Gott, oh Gott. Space combat pursuit tactics dependent on light sensors. Sensors cannot detect objects moving at faster than light speeds. No ship can be detected at interstellar ranges. Detection at interplanetary ranges suffers from light speed lag. Observers see ships not where they appear to be, but where they were when the light bearing the image left them, minutes, hours or days before. To counteract light speed lag, battlefleets surround themselves with spheres of screening and scouting frigates. Pursuers cannot detect ships and directly intercept them. Instead, pursuers track where objects were, where they were heading and at what speed they were moving. Such data reliably predicts an object's future location and for pursuit along its light-lagged wake. Ships trying to evade pursuit follow erratic zigzag courses, requiring pursuers to make stops to update their projections. Starships, Dreadnoughts. The ultimate arbiter of space warfare, the Dreadnought employs millions of tons of metal, ceramic and polymer in the projection of firepower against an enemy vessel of like ability. No sane commander would face a Dreadnought without a Dreadnought of his or her own. A Dreadnought power lies in the length of its main gun. Dreadnoughts range from 800 meters to 1 kilometer long, with main guns of commensurate length. A 800 meter mass accelerator is capable of accelerating one 20 kilo slug to a velocity of 4025 kilometers per second, 1.3% of light speed, every 2 seconds. Each slug has a kinetic energy of 38 kilotons of TNT, enough to destroy the infrastructure of a mid-sized city and kill 500,000 people. Because of air fraction, planets with atmosphere do not feel a slug full devastation. Atmospheric drag reduces impact force by 20% per Earth atmosphere of air. At present, the Turian fleet possesses 39 dreadnoughts, the Asari 20 and the Solarian 16. Each of the Human Alliance 8 dreadnoughts is named for terrestrial mountains. Everest class, Everest, Fuji, Elbrus, Kilimanjaro class, Kilimanjaro, Taishan, Shasta, Aconcagua, Orizaba, was auch immer. Starship, Frigates. Ach, das hatten wir doch schon, oder? Nur teilweise, die haben es erweitert anscheinend. Frigates are light escorts and scouts, often possessing extensive guardian systems to provide anti-fighter screening for capital ships, and crewed with a squad of marines for security and groundside duty. Unlike larger vessels, frigates can land on planets. The most important role filled by frigates is reconnaissance. Sensors, unlike ships and communications employing the mass effect, are limited to the speed of light. Therefore, a stationary observer can detect a vessel a light year away only when its light arrives a year later. Because faster than light, attackers always arrive before the defenders can detect them. With luminal sensors, attackers can always surprise defenders. For defense, fleets surround themselves with spheres of scouting frigates, scanning for enemy ships and transmitting warnings to the main body. Frigates achieve high FTL cruise speeds because of their high performance drives. They also have proportionally larger thrusters and light design mass, allowing them greater maneuverability. In combat, speed and Beweglichkeit make frigates immune to long-range fire of larger vessels. In fleet combat, frigates are organized into wolfpack flotillas of 4 to 6 wolfpack speed through enemy formations. Hunting enemy vessels with kinetic barriers have been taken down by fighter-launched disruptor torpedoes. Wolfpack circle strafe vulnerable targets using superior speed and Beweglichkeit and evade return fire. Alliance frigates are named for great battles in human history. Weapons: Disruptor torpedoes. Disruptor torpedoes are powerful projectiles with warheads that create random and unstable mass effect fields when triggered. These fields warp space-time in localized area. The rapid asymmetrical mass changes cause the target to rip itself apart. In flight, torpedoes use a mass-increasing field, making them too huge for enemy kinetic barriers to repel. Because extra mass retards acceleration, torpedoes are easy prey for defensive Guardian weapons and must therefore be launched at extremely close range to be effective. To prevent damage to the parent craft, torpedoes must be cold launched, meaning they are released before their thrusters ignite, aligning with its target trajectory. A fighter releases a torpedo and immediately thrusts away while the torpedo continues to coast towards its target. After the fighter is clear no more than a second after launch, the torpedo activates its mass effect field and thrusts away from the fighter and towards its target. Torpedoes are the main anti-ship weapon used by fighters, launched at point-blank range in ripple-fire waves. They are reminiscent of the ancient Calliope rocket artillery launchers. By saturating defensive Guardian systems with multiple targets, at least a few torpedoes will get through. Weapons: Javelin. The Javelin is an experimental close assault weapon fitted on a handful of new Alliance warships. It consists of a rack of 2 or more disposable disruptor torpedo tubes bolted or magnetically slung into the exterior of a ship's armored hull. Fired on converging trajectories, the torpedoes detonate in a precisely timed sequence that allows the warhead dark energy to resonate and thereby magnify the resulting space-time warp effect. Like fighter-launched torpedoes, javelins are cold-launched for safety reasons, though they use a different approach. Resembling old-fashioned submarine torpedo tubes, javelin torpedoes compact in individual sealed tubes filled with compressed inert gas. Opening the front of the tubes causes escaping gas to push the torpedo into the vacuum, releasing a puff of crystal around the mouth of the tubes. After completely clearing the tube, the torpedo ignites its thrusters. Javelin mounts are most often fitted on swift frigates, which enter knife-fight torpedo ranges as a matter of course. Javelins may also be fitted on heavier ships for short-range engagements such as trans-relay assaults. They are particularly useful in this role for dreadnoughts, which cannot lay their main guns on close-range targets. As missile weapons, javelins are subject to highly accurate defensive Guardian fire. They must be launched in large numbers and at short range to have any chance of hitting the target at all. Weapons: Mass Accelerators. Mass Accelerators, das hatten wir auf jeden Fall, aber nicht so viel, okay. Mass Accelerators propel solid metal slugs via electromagnetic attraction and repulsion. A slug enlightened by a mass effect field can be accelerated to extremely high speeds, permitting previously unattainable projectile velocities. The primary determinant of a mass accelerator destructive power is length. The longer the barrel, the longer the slug can be accelerated, the higher the slug final velocity, and therefore the greater its kinetic impact. Slugs are designed to squash or shatter on impact, increasing the energy they transfer to its target. Without collapsibility, slugs would punch through the targets while inflicting only minimal damage. Rather than being mounted on the exterior, starship guns are housed inside holes and visible only as gun portholes from outside. A ship main gun is a large spinal mount weapon running 90% of the hull's length. While possessing destructive power equal to that of tactical nuclear weapons, main guns are difficult to aim, because the ship must be able to point the bows almost directly at the target, main guns are best used for long-range bombardment fire. Approximately 40% of the holes with wide broadside guns inflict less damage and can be mounted with greater numbers and more flexibility. The modern human Kilimanjaro class dreadnoughts mount 3 decks with 26 broadside accelerators apiece for a total salvo weight of 78 slugs per side, firing once every 2 seconds. However, mass accelerators produce recoil equal to their impact energy. While the mass effect field suspending the rounds mitigates recoil, recoil shock can still rattle crews and damage systems. Technology. Computer haptic adaptive interface. Advances in computing have done away with traditional input devices like keyboards. Instead, modern input peripherals are usually holographic displays displayed in front of the user at a height and angle for ergonomic ease. Machines that use this interface detect a user throughout a microframe chip in the user's glove that keys in to the computer. Once a user is accepted, motion accelerometers in the user's glove match his hand's location with that of the proportionate but smaller mirror set of controls inside the computer itself. As the user presses against the holographic field, force feedback in the glove kicks in, giving a slight resistance. A person can then feel his way through using a touchscreen that isn't actually there. A simple toggle switch on the back of the hands allows the glove to be turned off when not in use. Haptic interfaces have become so common that some individuals undergo cybernetic enhancement surgery to have the accelerometers implanted in their fingertips. Going bare skin is the sign of a committed computer user who no longer has to fuss with putting on gloves or cleaning them with alcohol wipes to get rid of clammy hand smell. Ja, das würde ich auch machen. The Veteran Zaid's Secret, Planet Zoria. Bring firearms and antihistamines is what veteran guides say about this lush garden world. First colonized in 2160, Zoria's temperate and tropical zones are overrun with plants and fungi of all kinds. As a result, the air's most habitable areas is choked with pollen spores that range from benign to deadly. The scattered colonies across the planet have resorted to clear-cutting and slash and burn farming to create habitable zones. In the more rural areas, where the spores are thickest, are populated only by watcher. Lax ecological laws allow mining and manufacturing industries to flourish and pollute cheaply, as the planet's carrying capacity far outstrips the current size of its colonies. Zoria is also home to the Blue Suns mercenary company, who dominates the colony's security forces. The Suns enjoy nearly unlimited influence with local politicians and judges, ensuring no other private military contractors can compete with them economically. Nearly every colony has a Suns recruiting station, if not a training camp, though this has hardly made the planet any safer. Piracy, drugs and vice and political violence are commonplace. So, jetzt haben wir alles. Das hat was gedauert. Meine Güte. Das war eindeutig nicht kurz. So, dann wollen wir mal mit den ganzen Leuten reden. Okay, erstmal gucken wir, ob wir hier irgendwelche Upgrades haben. Achso. So. Hier nicht. Das wollen wir haben. Her damit. Cybernetic upgrade. Shepard gets plus 10% health. Synthetic fibers can be woven through the skin, dramatically reducing damage taken from most attacks. These fibers also act as Medi-gel conduit, improving healing. Okay. Na, gucken wir mal. Vielleicht hat er was zu sagen.
Shepard, how can I help?
Have you got a minute to talk?
Some other time. About to test new bioweapon. Not on us, of course. Didn't think I had to specify, but Joker got nervous. Anything else?
Okay.
I'll let you work.
We'll be here if you need me.
Oh,
Commander, sorry I'm a little unfocused. Personal matter. It won't affect my duties.
Always have time for my crew. What is it?
As I said, it's a personal matter. I don't want to waste our time if it turns out to be a goose chase. But... well, I got pinged by a ghost the other night. Family.
I'm listening.
My private log got an update about the Hugo Gernsback, the ship my father served on. It sent an SOS last week, reporting a crash and requesting a rescue. Shepard, that ship went missing 10 years ago. I hadn't talked to my father for 3 years before that. I've buried everything but a body. I'm not convinced it isn't just some automated distress signal ticking over. It's been too long.
I think you'd be more excited that your father might be alive.
He wasn't around enough for me to have bad memories. It's an old, well-healed wound. But if he's actually alive and needs help, I also want to note that it's not normal procedure for distress calls to be routed to the Normandy. This was passed to my personal log through Cerberus filters.
Any signs that this was a Cerberus front? Who passed this to you?
I doubt the elusive man would let a direct operation stake hold this long. If there's a link, it's probably just about money. Cerberus needs diverse holdings to fund projects like, well, you. And whoever sent this my way covered their tracks. Someone could be fishing for favors, or thought it would get under my skin. Who knows with that bunch?
You didn't get along with your father?
He made no apologies, I'll give him that. You make a mistake, you own up to it. Even if you keep making it. Whatever problems we had were a lifetime ago. I've had 10 years to get to where I am. And as far as I know, he's still a ghost.
Tell me about the Hugo Gernsback and what it was doing.
Privately held frigate. I looked over the mission brief when it disappeared. Nothing stood out. Typical research and grab operation. Find an uncharted planet, stake a claim, and establish as large a presence as you can as fast as possible to shut out competitors.
I think we can spare the time. Pass the coordinates to Joker.
I appreciate that, Commander. I don't expect more than dusty old bones, but it'll be good to close the record.
okay.
Commander, you've received a new message at your private terminal. I saw the reports on Horizon, Commander. What you did was amazing. The report mentioned that Ashley Williams was there. How did that go?
There's not much to say. The past is the past.
I understand. Anyway, how may I help you, Commander?
Is there anything I should know?
You have unread messages at your private terminal. Operative Lawson would like to see you at her station on the crew deck. Anything else, Commander?
That'll be all.
I'll be here if you need anything.
Incoming message from Admiral Stephen Hackett, Alliance HQ.
Commander Shepard, I need to discuss a sensitive matter with you privately.
I'll take this in my quarters.
Oho.
Commander, thank you for your time. I'll keep this brief. We have a deep cover operative out in Batarian space. Name's Dr. Amanda Kenson. Dr. Kenson recently reported that she found evidence of an imminent Reaper invasion.
So why call me?
Just this morning I received word that the Batarians arrested her. They're holding her in a secret prison outpost on terrorism charges. I need you to infiltrate the prison and get her out of there. As a favor to me, I'm asking you to go in alone.
The Batarians won't take kindly to the Alliance breaking into a secret prison.
This is not an Alliance operation. It's one person going in alone to save a friend. If it were an official mission, of course the Batarians would be upset. You keep this quiet, Shepard, and there's nothing to worry about.
Okay.
I thought the Alliance denies the Reaper threat. That must be some proof she found.
Kenson's team found an artifact out in Batarian space. She believes it's a Reaper device, proof that the Reapers are indeed planning to invade. I've known her a long time. If she says she has proof, it's worth checking out.
What else can you tell me about the operative?
Amanda's a top scientist and Alliance agent working in Batarian space. It's a deadly assignment, and she's one of the few up to the challenge. She and I go back pretty far, Commander. I won't let her rot away in a Batarian torture camp.
What is Dr. Kenson actually doing out there?
She's a deep cover operative, Shepard. We talk only when we have to. I'd heard she was investigating a rumor of a Reaper artifact in the system. Her last report said she'd found it.
I have a hell of a squad with me. I'm sure they'd help out.
Kenson is my friend. If the Batarians see a squad of armed soldiers, they'll kill her. This is serious, Commander. Go in with discretion, or don't go at all.
Natürlich helfen wir die
I'll
Hackett.
make this a priority.
The prison is hidden underground in a Batarian outpost on Aratat. I'll upload the coordinates now. Once she's secure, confirm her discovery. We'll debrief you when you're back.
Got it.
Hackett out.
Okay. No, wir füttern einmal unsere Fische. So, wir haben mit den zwei geredet. Messages. Untitled. Title, untitled, from Errol, invalid sender name. Hey Shepard, heard I have you to thank for getting out of purgatory. Sent a ship to round me up, but they didn't weapons check good enough. I'm gonna carve your name instead of mine into the next victim as thanks. Got anyone you need dead? Haha. You did take a shot at me though on my way out, so I have to kill you. You know how it goes. That taught me that you let anybody hurt you, they get ideas, so make sure to send a message. Not like I'm sending now, though. See you around. The people who live here are coming back and it's showtime. Look around for your name. I will make sure you find it before I find you, Billy. Okay. Can you help? From Robin Reeve, Commander. The Alliance soldier here gave me this contact information. I hope this reaches you. You said you were trying to stop those collectors. They took my son and my brother. Have you found them? Do you know where they are? I know you're looking, but so many people are just gone. Eventually, every family lost someone. The children are the worst. Empty desks at the schools, winter clothes that never got worn. Please, the Alliance isn't doing anything. The Council is doing anything. If you can find our people, I'm begging you to do something. Tell me something I can do. Tell me anything. Robin Reeve. Shadow Broker Intel. Shepard. To Shepard from Cerberus Information Processing. We are aware that your old friend Liara Tissoni has been hunting for the Shadow Broker for several years. We wouldn't mind helping her in that hunt, given the broker's past work for the collectors. We recently uncovered some information that might give Liara a lead on where to find the Shadow Broker base of operations, but unfortunately she doesn't have much faith in Cerberus Intel. If you visit Ilium and pass it on to her as a gesture of goodwill, we will appreciate it. Sehen wir etwa die gute Liara wieder?
Hey, Commander. It's pretty crazy the people you can run into out here, huh? I mean, it was probably a setup or something, but it was still good to see Ash. Operations Chief Williams, wasn't it?
She moved on. I can't blame her.
She was frontline with you blowing up half the Citadel, and I'm the one who gets roped back into saving the galaxy? What, did somebody switch our files?
You're the force that pulls it all together, Joker.
Yeah, it sucks, I'll give you that.
I assume everything is going well up here?
This thing wants to fire me over a joke. Okay, I said I'd flash the AI core, but I was kidding. And we'd only lose a few systems. Nosy ones.
To clarify, human resources adjustments are not actually under my authority.
Then why? Why are you always picking on me?
My replies were intended to provoke, though not to cause distress. Your reactions are atypical of most humans. You are interesting.
Edie, were you intentionally egging him on? What part of your programming covers that?
Nothing in the restrictions imposed upon me forbids active observation techniques. Mr. Moreau's performance actually improved under duress.
I never figured the coming overlords would be so annoying. I'm done.
That's it for now.
See you, Commander.
Der hört sich auch richtig genervt und enttäuscht an der gute Herr. So, das heißt, hier oben haben wir alles abgegrast. Ja, falsche Richtung. Dann gehen wir mal nach da. Okay, die sagen nichts Neues. Sagt sie nochmal was, dass wir reingehen?
Shepard, the men's restroom is on the port side of the ship.
Ja, ist ja gut. Ich wollte nur gucken, ob du aufpasst, Edie.
How may I help you, Commander?
Okay.
I'll see you later, Doctor.
Commander.
Weren't you originally stationed on Horizon?
Yes. If I hadn't joined Cerberus, I'd be abducted by the Collectors right now.
Wow, you really dodged a bullet.
Yeah, I couldn't take that. They creep the hell out of me.
Shepard, need me for something?
Have you got a minute?
Can it wait for a bit? I'm in the middle of some calibrations.
Okay.
Talk to you later, Garrus.
Das heißt, das, was uns die gute Dame oben sagt, stimmt wohl. Also müssen wir einfach nur zu ihr hier gehen, der Rest ist egal. Ach, egal.
I find myself in the unpleasant position of asking for your help. I don't like discussing personal matters, but this is important.
Miranda, you're one of my crew. Tell me what's on your mind.
You remember what I told you about Father? Building a dynasty? There was another reason I went to Cerberus for protection. I have a sister, a twin, and he's still hunting her. Cerberus has kept her safe, until now. She's living a normal life on Ilium, safe and hidden from my father.
So you think your father has tracked her down?
Precisely, Commander. My sources indicate he knows that she's on Ilium. I've tried to keep her hidden without impacting her life, but I'm out of options. He's too close. I need to relocate my sister's family before it's too late.
What do you know about your sister?
She's my genetic twin. We're identical, but she deserves a normal life, and she's going to get it no matter what.
Does your sister's family know about this? Are they okay with being relocated?
They know nothing. They're completely uninvolved. Normal. I told Cerberus, and they're coming up with a positive reason to move the family.
What do you need me to do?
My father is extremely persistent. I'd like to go to Ilium when Cerberus is moving the family to make sure none of his agents get too close. My contact's name is Lantea. She'll be waiting for us in the lounge near the Nos Astra docking bay.
Okay. Das kriegen wir hin. Ja, checken wir trotzdem noch Said und Grant und die Engineers, die zwei.
So Kenneth, did you know we've got a crazy woman squatting down in the subdeck?
What? If she touches anything, I'll kill her.
Oh, and the only thing she wears from her waist up is tattoos.
Oh, maybe I should go down and welcome her aboard.
And she's a murderer, has biotic powers that could crush you with a blink, hates everyone in Cerberus.
Damn it, girl. Stop toying with me.
Wollt ihr was Neues zu sagen?
What can we do for you, Commander?
Okay.
Carry on.
Will do, Commander.
Und dann Gucken wir mal, was die Crazy Worm da unten macht.
Hey.
Tell me about you, Jack. What are you up to?
Still checking out your ship. Wouldn't mind putting her through her paces when you're not around.
If I take you too seriously, I might need to deal with you.
Try it. Anyway, relax. Joyriding doesn't have the thrill it used to. Besides, if I wanted it, I'd take it.
That's so.
I've been around. Ran with gangs, wiped out some gangs, joined a cult. Kept the haircut. I learned how to survive and not be a victim.
It's hard to imagine you in a cult. That usually involves a lot of rules.
I was looking for answers. Drugs and sex and going to a better place. A better place, right. It was all about money. They wanted to take a colony, shake the suckers down to fund their spread, and guess who was their ace in the hole? They were just like the rest. Didn't give one shit about me.
What did you do when you found out?
What do you think?
You must have met some good people, too.
Everybody wants something, and because of that, everything is fair game. Murder, assault, kidnapping, drugs, stealing, arson. Done it all. And that's the boring shit. Piracy, theft of military craft, destruction of a space station, and vandalism. That was a good one.
I'm surprised you'd even mention vandalism in that bunch.
That's what the Hanar call it when you crash that space station I mentioned into one of their moons and make a new crater. They really liked that moon.
You were a pirate, too?
Ties in with the kidnapping. If you hijack a passenger ship and don't kill everyone, anyway. Good lesson. Simpler to just kill them all.
A space station. You're pushing what I can believe.
Ain't saying it was easy. Not everything is spur of the moment. Sometimes you gotta work to give people what they deserve. Had some people I hung with for a while. Outlaw colony. Felt like they were like me. Guess that made us a nice target. Turians think they know something about a scorched earth response. Fuck 'em.
Military's a hard target. Bet that made you some friends.
Shouldn't have left the thing unlocked. Besides, parades are boring. I helped.
Do you ever wonder if you could have done things differently?
No.
Shouldn't you?
There's no reason I should be alive, but I am. You know why? Instinct. It's worked for me so far, and I'm not gonna change. Hey, Shepard. No one's ever asked me about this shit. It's strange to talk about. So fuck you. And thanks for asking.
Klar, gern geschehen, Jack. And fuck you too. Oh, falsche Richtung.
Shepard.
Just checking in, making sure you're acclimatizing.
I was just sitting here thinking. The picture, I'm finally starting to get it. There's a tank imprint, the battle at Canrum. A dead Turian, stripped. You don't see them out of their armor much. A Krogan boot on his head, and a claw hammer. It's under the brow plate, pulling it back, right? Eyes have gone black, and you see tension in the muscle. You can feel it ready to snap. I get it.
Canrum isn't ringing a bell.
Death of Shiagar, female warlord. Turians killed her, so they were hunted down and made examples. Even if they won the war, it was the last push before the rebellions ended.
Maybe I had to be there, but I don't get the joke.
There's no joke. It's just great. It's a Turian, and he's being torn apart for what they did. I felt nothing before, but now I get it. It was a good fight. The enemy was destroyed to punish them all and send a message. I get it. I hate Turians. I thought you'd be glad.
Don't start anything with Garrus. I won't have trouble on my ship.
I don't hate Garrus. I hate the Turians. Garrus is just one Turian, and he's your clan. No point in ripping his face off unless he turns on me. It's hate, but it's mine. Okir was blind, and he tried to make me the same. But I'm starting to feel what they did, to see why I should care. Anyway, I'm still figuring where I fit, but it made me laugh. Nothing else really on my mind, Shepard.
Tüdelü. Grant.
Shepard, I was just waxing goddamn nostalgic. Tough fight on Horizon. I fought slavers and kidnapping rings, but nothing like that. Some slavers took a little girl on a colony in the Skepsis system. Girl woke up, fought her way out, got picked up by my band well on her way to Omega. 8 years old. She'd have had no chance on Horizon. I was shadowing this rookie on an infiltration run to an Eclipse base on Tatus. Good kid, but he had no business handling a rifle. In the shuttle on the way down, he puked in his helmet. We hit some turbulence, and with all the crap sloshing around, he thought he'd been shot in the head. Went back to the Alliance. Here he's a governor now. I should let you go. Talk more later, Shepard.
So, dann holen wir ganz schnell noch die letzte, die Diebin ab. Ah, scheiße. Okay, wir durchsuchen das hier, dann holen wir die Diebin ab. Ach, wir haben nur 8 Proben. Und dann beenden wir die Folge.
Probe away. Launching probe. Probe away. Probe away. Probe away.
Dann verschießen wir noch unsere letzten paar Proben, die wir haben.
Probe launched.
Ja, komm.
Probe launched.
Ah, perfekt. Oh Gott. Genau. Wir wollen die Master Thief bekommen, weil ich meine, das war relativ simpel. Achso. Keine Ahnung, du.
Commander Shepard, enter the password and receive a free gift. Please tell me your password, Commander Shepard.
Silence is golden.
Good to finally meet you, Commander Shepard. Kasumi Goto. I'm a fan.
Has Cerberus filled you in on the mission?
Honestly, I'm shocked they didn't come to see me sooner. My fault for being hard to find, I guess.
What's with the password and the sneaking around? Are you in trouble or something?
I'm the best thief in the business, not the most famous. Need to watch my step to keep it that way. I also needed to make sure all this was legit. And I have no doubts now. You're the real Commander Shepard.
What brought you to Cerberus?
That's a bit of a story. Short version, they were looking for me, so I trailed them to find out why. Turns out they were looking for someone to join you on an important mission, and were offering a serious signing bonus. I had a thing I needed help with, so I made them a deal. And here we are.
I assume this deal is something I should know about?
Yeah, I guess it slipped their minds. I'm looking for my old partner's gray box. A man named Donovan Hawk took it, and I'm planning to get it back.
Tell me about this former partner of yours.
His name was Keiji Okuda, the best hacker and entryman I've ever known. Unfortunately, he slipped up and made himself infamous. He stole something he shouldn't. He warned me it was bad, something that could spark interstellar war if it got out. That information got him killed.
What could he have found that's so bad?
He wouldn't say what it was, just that it was dangerous. He said if it got out, humanity would be in trouble. He encrypted it, wrapped it up in his own memories. To decode the information, you have to sift through all the time we spent together. Now those memories are all that's left of him.
I can understand why you'd want to get it back.
Getting it back will be easier with your help, Shepard.
I assume a gray box is some kind of hardware?
It's a neural implant. Illegal in most places. Stores memories, thoughts, secret codes, illicit information. This one in particular belonged to my partner, Keiji Okuda. We worked together for a long time, before Hawk killed him.
What's this heist you're planning?
Not here, Shepard. You'll get a briefing when the time comes. I need time to nail down the details anyway. I've taken the liberty of getting you some evening wear, though. You want to look presentable.
What's this heist
Ah,
you're
scheiße.
planning?
Not here.
Warum ändern die...
Getting you some evening wear, though.
Die ändern manchmal die Position der Fragen.
Mr. Hawk is a well-respected businessman. Arms dealer, murderer, generally not a great guy. His mansion's famous for being hard to crack, but I have a way in, and I think you're gonna love it.
I doubt Hawk's the kind of guy who takes kindly to people sneaking into his house.
I always expect trouble. That's why you're here.
If that's what Cerberus promised you, we'll get it done.
It'll be fun. And if we're lucky, you won't even have to draw your gun. We should probably wrap this up. You look pretty silly standing there talking to an advertisement. See you on the ship, Shepard.
Kann ich ja auch. So. Ich wusste nur, wo man sie abholt. Ich hatte sie nie in meinen Teilen. Ich habe keine Ahnung, wo die sitzt.
That Kasumi is an interesting addition to the crew. I can see why she's good at her work. She never reveals anything meaningful about herself. It's all on the surface. It'll be a challenge getting to know who she really is. Anyway, what's up?
Is there anything I should know?
Nothing right now. Anything else, Commander?
That'll be all.
It's always nice chatting with you.
Ich weiß nicht mal, wo die chillt. Kasumi Gato. Anscheinend irgendwo da. Müsste dann hier sein? Ah, da. Ah. Oh no! Shepard nicht! Lass es sein! No, no, no. Kein Alkohol, Shepard. Endet nicht gut.
That painting has a special place in my heart. An art collector hired me to steal it. When I got there, the painting was gone. On the way out, I saw it being hauled off by another thief. I chased him down, tackled him, and took the painting. That's how KG and I met. We never did turn it into our employers. The Red Rose. That used to be my calling card when I first started out. In place of whatever I took, I left a single red rose. It wasn't until I met KG that I realized how silly it was. He had a way of making you realize when you were just being sentimental. I stole that on a dare, believe it or not. There was a big museum show coming to Ilium. Artifacts from Earth going on tour. Very high security. KG dared me to steal this. So I broke in, hacked the security, put a few guards to sleep, and replaced the piece with a worthless duplicate. They never knew the difference. My first museum job. Nowhere near the last. That's my favorite piece, painted for me by a child prodigy from Elysium. She was the cutest thing. She was kidnapped by slavers who hoped to sell her on Omega. I wasn't about to let that happen. I set up an ID as a buyer's rep to get a special tour of the slaver's vessel. Once aboard, I freed the girl and smuggled her off the ship. She painted that for me on the way home. I'll never forget how it felt to watch her work. Don't laugh, I like those books. Romance novels, crime novels, the classics. There's something about the feel of actual paper in your hands, their musty smell. It's relaxing. KG used to find books for me while on the job. Some of these are more valuable than the objects he was hired to steal.
Shepard, alles in Ordnung bei dir?
People are talking out there, and I hear it all. I usually travel hidden away in cargo bays. It's nice to be able to look out a window for a change. Mess Sergeant Gardner might just be an evil genius. Emphasis on the evil. People think he's a bad cook on purpose, like he's trying to teach them a lesson. I think his ramen is okay, but it's really hard to ruin ramen. I'm not really sure what to do with myself. Not much call for thievery aboard a ship. Come back later. I'm sure I'll have more to talk about.
Okay, Karumi. Gut, und hier beenden wir dann die Folge. Dann speichere ich mal. Save. Und ja, damit wünsche ich dir einen schönen guten Morgen, einen schönen guten Tag oder einen schönen guten Abend, abhängig davon, wann du dir das anguckst. Tüdelü, Lorraine.